In this episode of Confluence series, we are going to talk about how to edit a page in Confluence and the various options associated with it. So let's get started. To go ahead and edit a page, click on the edit option at the right hand side corner, and that will open up the editor of the page. And you have a toolbar over here which has the various options associated with the editing option. So the first one that we have here is a text styles, which allows you to set different headings for any kind of text or keep it as a normal text. For example, you could go ahead and change the word Confluence here to a different heading style. So you select that particular word or text and go to heading 1, select here, or it could be heading 2. If you carefully observe, the size of the text changes based upon the heading that you're selecting. For subheadings, you might go ahead and select H4, H5, H6, and for major headings, you can go for H1, H2, H3, and you have normal text option also available. And the next option that we have here is format text. Format text allows the text to be bold, italic, underline, strike through, code, subscript, or superscript. For example, let's go ahead and select the text that you want to format, and then you go ahead to format text and apply the text kind of text you want. Currently, I want this to be italic, so I'm going to select italic over here, or I just want to strike this entire information, then I'm going to select strike through, right? So this is how format text option works. So let's undo it quickly. To undo this, select this one and select clear formatting. The next option that we have is lists. So if you have different information and you want to separate or set them in as pointers, so you could go ahead and select the list option, wherein you have numbered list or a bulleted list or a task list. So I'm going to select here the numbered list, and if you see here, numbers are added over here. Or I could go ahead and select this to be a bulleted list, then you see bullets beside each of this point over here, right? So this is how the list option is working. We have one more option here, which is a task list. If you see here, there's a task list option. If I click this one, each of this point will be having a checkbox assigning that to be a task ID. So you could go ahead and click check here so that you are telling the people that this task is completed. And more actions can be done on this, like giving a due date or mentioning the person. We're going to talk about that in the action item section much more in clarity. So if you want to remove this, you have to just highlight this entire thing and click on task list again, and the entire formatting would be removed. The next option that we have is text alignment, where you could go ahead and align the text left, center, or right. So I'm going to select center here. First, select this entire text and then go ahead and select the alignment. Right. So this is how alignment is working. And next we have text and highlight color. So if you want a certain text to be of certain color, you could go ahead and select text and then give it a color that you want. Here I want it to be bold green, so I'm going to select bold green. And if you want to go ahead and undo this, you could go ahead and remove the color or go back to the black color that was previously there. So this is how highlighting text is working. And next we have something called action item. So what do action items do? Action items are interactive checkboxes that are used to track tasks directly on the pages. So they allow you to go ahead and assign users by using the @mention option and also setting up due dates. So for example, here I had clicked here and this pointer became an action item, and this is similar to what we were talking about here under task list. And if you see here, task list is also highlighted. So both are doing the same kind of formatting or setup on the page. So I can go ahead and now say @mention a person here, and then also give a due date. The due date could be 31st of March. right? So this is how I am using the action item. So this could be used whenever you are having a meeting, especially the one-on-one meetings, or you have your stand-up calls where you want to make a list of all the action items that are to be done by the team, and you make a list of all of these and go ahead and assign to the team, and then say also update the due date, right? So this is how you could go ahead and implement the action item section for your teams. And next one you have here is adding images, videos, or files. This will allow you to go ahead and add any kind of PDFs, images, and videos from your computer to your Confluence page. And the next option that we have is a mention option. The mention option is what we have used in the action item section. So what it ideally does is it allows you to go ahead and mention a person's name in the editor. And number one, it is going to send you a notification. Number two, it is also going to send that person a email promoting much more better collaboration. So you could use it in the comment section, in your blog post, or in the content. So whenever we are trying to use it, for example, in the same section, if we are trying to use here, I'll say @ mention, and it will give you the list of the users automatically, kind of suggesting you the users available, and you could go ahead and select the user to whom you would like to do a mention, and kind of that will send out a notification and an email to that person, right? So this is collaboratively used with the action items option or the task list option, so that we are actually giving much more context to that particular person on what they're doing, on what they have to do also on the page, or in terms of work items ideally, right? So this is how you could use the mention option. And remember, this is being used exactly like you use it in your day-to-day social media. And the next option that we have here is layouts. Layouts allow you to structure your page in horizontal and vertical columns. You can add multiple sections with various columns and configure any kind of complex layouts on your Confluence page. So I'm going to add a layout now. So click here to add a layout, and you can go ahead and insert any kind of gadgets or macros on this particular page. So now what I'm going to do is you can just go ahead and add any kind of text too. So I'm going to have like two kind of separate texts in each of these columns. So I'm going to like kind of copy this section and paste it over here, and copy this section, which is an action item, and paste it over here. You see here, I have two columns in this section, and with text-based information. I could go ahead and make it a right sidebar layout if I want, or I could go ahead and make it a left sidebar layout like this, right? So this is how you're able to customize layouts in Confluence. So you could add a number of information in this particular column. So I'm going to make another video that explains everything about layouts. But for now, in this, we could go ahead and stick to this information. And you could go ahead and add multiple columns. You can have 3 columns, or you could have 4 columns, or you could have 5 columns, and you could have multiple information. You could go ahead and place any kind of tables here, emojis here. You could go ahead and say, I want a table here, or I want an image or a video or an action item, or any kind of information in this particular section which has like multiple columns. So now if I go back to this, I could have like 5 columns also. I could go ahead and click on the 3 dots in this editing section of the layout, and go ahead and make a copy of this layout, or go ahead and delete this layout too. So I click on delete, and the layout is entirely deleted, right? So this is how you're able to use layouts. And the next one is what we have is tables. Tables are extensively discussed in one of the video that I made. So please refer that video. I'm going to update it in the description section. This is part 1 of editing pages in Confluence. Stay tuned for part 2 and more such information on Tech Monday.